But let's move on to the next couple of matches that he did send me. So we've got a match here where he does fight a Karen player as well. And these ones go a little bit quicker because unfortunately he does not have as much success against some of these, against this Karen player here. But so, for example, now, okay, well, that's a little bit of an error at the beginning, and now the Karen player is going, wait, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, okay, let's play now. Okay, so now they're going to play. So, okay, Karen just did command dash into shoulder check. That's information. That's information you want to pick up. So, what Sai is doing at the beginning is fine. Walking back and forth. Measuring your opponent gets hit by this. That's fine. You're going to get hit by it because you weren't expecting it. That will happen to a lot of people. But that's information that you pull into your head right away. Okay, he's willing to do this move. So how do I stop it? Neutral jump. Walk into the range of that shoulder tackle, that shoulder check, and neutral jump. And if you bait him into doing that, you can punish it on the way down from your jump. Right? So that's something to take note of. But see, now when I'm analyzing this, I'm not analyzing it just from Sai's perspective on what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. I'm going to be analyzing my opponent as well. Okay, so now they're both not doing anything. And now I jump. I'm going to jump. Now, if I'm going to jump here, this is, again, information. Someone mentioned this in chat, right? I jumped. I jumped over this, and the opponent got hit. Okay, their anti-air is not on point. Note that. That's something I have to remember. And yes, is this difficult because you have to remember all these things? Yeah, absolutely. You'll forget. And then you'll have to remind yourself again later on. Or you're super good and you just remember the whole entire time. So he got the jump attack in here, and that was a sick confirm. What the? He just did medium. Yeah, he just did medium punch link into uppercut. That's actually pretty sick. Okay. That works. That's an absolute confirmed combo. Go for it. Let's go back a little bit. And that's actually really cool to note, by the way, is that when you land, that's actually a neat combo for Cammy because, yeah, it's not the hit confirm of stand medium, low medium, and a drill, but it's still a hit confirm and it requires no cancels. So if you're terrible at cancels, it's actually a good beginner combo to learn. So that's actually pretty good. I don't know if he actually confirmed it, but it worked. So there it is. There it is right there. But he knocks him down, and now back to this walk, and he goes for the jump into dive kick. Okay, before we definitely saw some missed dive kicks, but maybe he's fixed that. So dive kick, missed, and he's getting hit by buttons. He got counter hit, unfortunately, so Karen didn't finish her combo. Whatever, okay, we're back in the situation. And I can already see a little bit of evolution in Sai's game. Like, that was a stand roundhouse. I don't know what it was for, but it wasn't sweep. It wasn't sweep. But maybe we'll see more sweeps later on. But then he gets a screen away and he starts whiffing buttons here. So he whiffed a stand fierce here. And you see over here on the corner of the screen, there was no empty cancel into a drill. So this was not the heavy punch into drill option select that I was talking about when I came back. He just hit out heavy punch. Now, keeping in mind that you're playing a two-player game, what are you hitting heavy punch for? Look where Karen is. Look where you are. Why are you hitting heavy punch? Right? Maybe, benefit of the doubt, he thinks that Karen's going to land and command dash forward and get punched. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But again, every time you hit a button, there should be a purpose. And yeah, and I like what Kid Icarus has said. This Karen is super defensive. Sitting there for half the match. That's, see? Beautiful, beautiful. That's an assessment that he made within 20 seconds of the round. In 20 seconds of the round, he said, this Karen is a defensive Karen. And look, you could be wrong with that. Like, I could say this Karen's defensive, and then all of a sudden she starts rushing down. You're like, whoops, I was wrong. That happens. Bad assessment. Okay, now you know they're offensive. But that's the kind of thing that you want to do. And shout outs to Prince. Thank you for the subscription. But there we go. So what is the standing fierce for right here? What is the standing fierce for? I don't know. But it's you have to make sure that everything you do has a purpose. Something that you really, really want to do. Okay, see? Roundhouse from a full screen away. Why? Why roundhouse from a full screen away? There was no point for that. But what's weird is that he was hitting fierce and roundhouse at the same time. So I don't know. Was he trying to V-trigger and he didn't think he had a V-trigger? Not sure. But again, have a purpose for why you're doing things. Okay, so now you see the Karen started coming in. So you've noticed that you guys are sitting back away from each other a little bit. And the Karen walks in with a V-skill and then does another V-skill. So you're like, okay, so this person also has V-skill in their arsenal and I just got hit out of it. That's fine. And then I just got caught by the crouching medium punch because I was touching buttons. You see the counter hit right there. I was touching buttons, so this Karen has good meaty timing. Another thing to note, block when I get up next time. Okay, she has her combo. Nice! Full combo there. And wake up drill. We saw this in the previous match. I don't know if this is just something Sai likes to do because this is not an uppercut code. This is distinctly a drill code. There's something taught Sai that wake up drill is a good idea. And that's something that Sai's going to have to remove from his lexicon of tactics, his options here. So that is definitely not going to be good, and he's going to get punished. The Karen messed up. Pretty sure that, without even looking at the input, I said to myself, that was roundhouse. That was crouch roundhouse. That was his panic button, and he got hit. Hey, guess what? Red means heavy kick. Down back heavy kick. That was his sweep. So Sai went for the panic button there, and he got hit. Sometimes just learning to block in panic situations is better. Sometimes, thanks, Prince. Sometimes learning to block in panic situations is just the better thing to do. And that is definitely the case right here. He went for the panic button again, and he got crush countered. Someone says, yeah, okay. Anyways, let's keep going. So, dead. Goes for the throw, wins right there. Okay, let's go to the next round here. Which some very funny things are going to happen in this round, but let's see what happens here. So again, Karen likes to space with that V skill. So now you have to understand that if you're this far away, not this far away, so let's say Karen was here. If you're at this range, if Karen is at this range, you have to be careful of V skill. So this is something that you have to neutral jump to beat maybe, or try to out poke with your standing medium kick. And then when Karen gets to this distance over here, I have to be careful of the shoulder check. Those are just things that you have to keep in mind, because that's what the opponent has shown you what you want to what you want to do. So that is something that you have to be concerned of. So let's keep going. Okay, he Rasenha. Interesting. Rasenha is punishable, so keep that in mind. Okay. Okay, so now Sai just went in for the V skill here. Like that. Okay, so he just went in for the V skill. Now, as a man who has done stupid V skills like this for no reason a million times, I am the last person to talk and be like, why would you V skill there? I do this all the time. It's because I want that move to be good, because it makes me so mad that her V skill is so bad. So I keep throwing it out there and getting killed just like this. But again, the question comes down to is, why would you do that? Why would you V skill in that particular situation? Why would you V skill in that particular situation? Especially at this range. Well, actually, he was in the right range. He was in the right range. So he was trying to get in, but unfortunately his opponent was hitting a button. And it might not have been a terrible read, just because if you look, like someone pointed out earlier, the Karen really doesn't do much. So it wasn't terrible. I actually do not blame him for this V skill that much. Like, it's actually a viable thing to try here. It's like, let's see what happens if I try this here, because he's obviously not hitting a lot of buttons. So I'm going to use that opportunity to get in with a V skill. Honestly, the best thing to do is if they're not hitting buttons, use that opportunity to walk forward, dash forward, close the distance, apply pressure. That is probably the better answer than a V skill. But if you mix in V skill with forward dashes, standing medium kicks, and walk forward, that makes the V skill a little bit stronger. Okay, so he gets hit. Hey, look, hey, guess what? Panic button again. The sweep. So it worked this time, but the problem is, even though he got the panic button, the counter hit sweep, I don't think he has a plan. When you get a crush counter sweep, they can't quick rise anymore. They can't back roll. There's only one wake up timing. So usually most players have a set pattern after landing a crush counter sweep. What's Cammy's best option after a crush counter sweep? I don't know. Actually, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you, and that's my fault. I should. Well, the reason why is because every time I get a crush counter, the reason why I don't know is because I never sweep. I never land a crush counter sweep, so I don't actually have an answer for that. But if I were to make something up, I would find the timing to get a meaty. And I would just learn the meaty timing properly, basically. So I would just be like, okay, now I'll just go to my meaty game. The other great option, honestly, is on a crush counter sweep, dash, 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 right? Dash a bunch of times. Because like if they're close enough to the corner, so let's say I'm about this far away from the corner. I can boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and then medium punch. Because now I'm pushing them towards the corner. 1, 2, 3, wait, medium punch. That's probably what I would do. If I got a crush counter sweep over here, I would dash and jump over so that I can get out of the corner. Those are some options on there. But you have to know what those options are ahead of time. So if you do happen to land this, you know what to go for. Can I get 4 dashes? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can! Ooh, perfect. Okay, so crush counter sweep. 1, 2, 3, 4, medium punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, medium punch. Oh, that's sick! Okay, well now I know what I'm doing anytime I ever land a crush counter sweep. So if I'm in this situation over here, crush counter sweep, 1, 2, 3, 4, medium punch, and then I can hit confirm. So that's my plan after getting a crush counter sweep now. So now if I ever happen to land that in battle, I will now know what to do. I will probably forget the first or 2 times I get it in a battle, but the more you do it, the more you start recognizing it as a sequence, it'll just come natural through muscle memory. Like sweep, crush counter, noise, oh, okay, time to dash 4 times and standing medium punch. So there you go. So he did not have a plan after his crush counter sweep, unfortunately. And now I have just given all Cammy players your correct plan. Crush counter, dash, 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 and then into it. But he goes for that meaty towards heavy kick. This is something that he likes to do. When the opponent knocks down, this is interesting because David has mentioned this before. He said, like, it's funny because with the advent of streaming and with people watching so many more fighting games, they know walking back and forth is a thing to do. So people start doing that now. Like, you'll actually play people online, they walk back and forth. I don't know if they know why they're doing it. I think they just do it because they know that's what you're supposed to do. But that's what he does a lot. That's what Sai does a lot whenever he gets the knockdown. He walks back and forth and then goes for a meaty. But that's fine. That's a good meaty. That's a perfectly fine meaty. But that's -2. That's -2 on block. It's the opponent's turn. So if the opponent hits crouch jab like that, crouching light punch, she's going to win. You don't know that. But if you get hit in that situation there and you're like, shouldn't I be able to beat her button first? Go to training mode, test it out. Beautiful ways to test that out. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Most of you probably know how, but I will show you exactly how. Set the computer to, well, don't take a picture like I just did, but set the computer to guard all. Record wake up action, record guard recovery action, which is stand light punch, which I think I already have. Let's see. Oh, I have them on sweep. Okay, so let's record a new one. Okay, stand light punch, right? So I just recorded Ryu to do standing light punch. I'm going to turn that on guard. So if he blocks, he'll stand light punch. So I'm going to do this. Okay, let's say I don't know what my fastest button is. I don't know what Cammy's fastest button is. It's crouching jab. Okay, it's crouching light punch. I'll tell you that right now. But let's say I don't know that. So all I have to do is test this. Towards heavy kick, mash light punch. I lost. Okay. Towards heavy kick. Let me mash medium punch. I lost. Let's try light kick. I lost. Let's try crouching light kick. I lost. Let's try crouching light punch. I lost. Let's try back medium punch. I lost. Let me try heavy punch. I lost. All right, let me try uppercut. I lost. This basically teaches you that you have no options. You can't beat that. That light punch is going to win, and that's because that move is -2. Once you start reading frame data, once you start understanding frame data, you'll know exactly why you lose 100% of the time in that situation. The only thing that can win is an EX uppercut because it has invincibility. That's the only reason why EX uppercut wins. But there you go. So you have to understand what moves put the opponent, give the turn to your opponent, or you maintain your turn. And that's a weird concept. That's definitely a super advanced concept in the realm of beginners, but is something that you have to pick up pretty quickly once you get into the intermediate level. Again, if you want some tips on that, go to youtube.com/UltraChenTV. Look up the season 5.2, I think, or no, it's 5.3, I believe, which is understanding frame data, and go and watch that series of videos because I explain all of that stuff. How to read frame data, what your turn is, what my turn is, what all that stuff is. So go ahead and check that. Okay, back to the match. So the reason why I brought that up is because after towards heavy kick, he gets counter hit or he gets jabbed right there. I don't know what it was that he was trying. It didn't even look like he did anything. It looked like he was trying to walk forward again. But he did get hit. If he gets counter hit, you go to training mode and you test these things out. Training mode is your best friend. My other recommendation, honestly, is whenever you play online in this game, always do it from training mode. And when stuff happens in the matches, keep those in mind. Keep those in mind. Even after you lose, if you can, write it down on a piece of paper so after the match is over, you can remember the things that you wanted to test. But then test them. Then test them in training mode right afterwards. Now, training mode is also really hard to understand how to use properly. Weirdly enough, I have an episode on that. I believe it's First Attack 5.2, which is how to utilize training mode to the best of your abilities. So check that out on youtube.com/UltraChenTV. And keep going. I mean, you can wait for matches in training mode. So it's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, actually. That's how I do it. I only wait for matches in training mode. It's not going to be any faster or slower as long as you wait in training mode. Just come over here. If I was logged in, you can turn on network fight request settings, and you can wait for matches over there. So, all right, back to the match. Oops. If in training mode, you can just pause, go to network match request settings, and you can set it up. I'm not logged in right now, but that's another story. So there you go. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, the loading times are a little slower, but dude, you're going to learn so much more. You're going to learn so much more if you're testing things between matches. It's super important. Thank you, Budafuka, for your, wow, 6 month in a row subscription. Thank you. All right, back to this match here. Okay, this Karen is not bad. This Karen is actually pretty good. Like, not expert level, but the Karen obviously knows what she's doing. So, really good pressure from her. Surprise, Rasenha walks into it. I walk into Rasenha all the time because I always feel like it's going to hit way slower than it does, but it hits super fast, so that happens, no problem. Okay, but see now, here's a great situation. Let's go back into this. Let's watch this whole sequence again really quick. Okay, that was a really strong sequence by the Karen player. It's very obvious that the Karen knows her pressure situation, her some decent pressure strings, and knows how to keep the offense going. anybody could have gotten hit by all those buttons that Sai did there. So obviously there's nothing wrong with getting hit by in all these situations. Because you're challenging, like I'm trying to hit a button, I get hit there, etc., etc. But now what you have to realize now is that your opponent is really aggressive and knows their frame traps well. So next time you get into this kind of situation, you may want to play more defensive until you figure out that the opponent is willing to throw you. So you might want to block until you find your situation to get out. Now, the more advanced stuff here is that you're going to learn things like, oh, I should just use the arrows. I keep forgetting I can do that now on YouTube. So some of the things that you're going to learn is that crouching medium punch, which you just saw Karen do there, is plus. It's Karen's turn. After you block Karen's crouching medium punch, it is very dangerous to hit a button. But that's a character matchup knowledge thing. That's a frame data thing that you will learn as time goes on. If you find yourself getting hit after Karen's crouching medium punch a lot, test it out in training mode. Make the computer walk up to do crouch medium punch, stand medium punch. See what you can do in between that. The answer will be you can't do anything in between that because it's a real frame trap. So, okay, so let's keep going here. Great sequence there. He finally gets out because this move here, while safe on block, I don't think this is safe on block, but this is a situation where now it is definitely Cammy's opportunity to switch the momentum into her offense. He takes advantage of it, and we should learn if it's punishable or not. So I'm going to look that up. Yeah, I was trying to press space, and it wasn't working for me. Yeah, space is making me scroll up and down. I'm not sure why it's not working. Yeah, that's that. So someone says Tenko is like -4 or 5. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bust out my iPhone here. There is an app called FAT, F-A-T. It's frame. What's it stand for? I never remember what FAT stands for. Frame Assistant Tool. Download Frame Assistant Tool. I can go in there. I can look up Karen. I'll pick Karen, and I'll find out right away that Tenko is -10. Ooh, that's really punishable. Oh, click the vid. Oh yeah, you can click the vid like that. Oh, I accidentally full screened it. Ooh. Okay, so Tenko is definitely punishable. Very punishable. -10, in fact. So Sai did not know that. He could have easily just did low forward, crouching medium kick into drill. But he did not do crouching medium into drill because he probably didn't know if it was truly punishable or not. That's another thing that you can test in training mode. Just record the computer to do that and see if you can punish it. But he gets a little bit of a space back and now throws out a standing heavy punch again. Pretty much kind of for nothing, maybe expecting a V trigger or whatever like that. But it's at a decent range where that option select that I showed you guys earlier is good. That standing heavy punch into drill is actually a decent option select there. But you can see there's no drill command over here, so that was definitely not what he was trying to do. He's just throwing out fierce as a footsie button. Not a terrible idea at this range, because if she did command dash or if she tried to V trigger or something, or might even hit a Rasenha out of the air, not a terrible thing because it's also hard to whiff punish. But standing medium kick is definitely your best poke until you start learning what the weaknesses of stand medium kick are so that you start throwing out heavy punch as well. Okay. Now that Karen is not doing much, just kind of judging the situation. And here I come with the dive kick. I chose to go in with the dive kick. This just takes practice. I do this all the time. I am the worst at aiming dive kicks. I miss all the time. That's just something that you gotta learn. Did the dive kick with heavy kick too, so it wasn't even far enough. That's just something you'll learn. So just definitely, that just takes practice. You're gonna have to learn distance. One of the things about fighting Street Fighter, I'll tell you this right now, and also if you watch that 5.1 first attack that I had on UltraChenTV, youtube.com/UltraChenTV, I talk about distancing a lot, and I use Legend of Zelda actually as an example because it's a perfect example, and you guys really should watch it because I remember when I first did that stream last year, everyone watched it and was like, oh my god, like everything makes sense all of a sudden. But distance between opponent is something super important in fighting games, and you're going to start learning how to measure this within half a second, within a tenth of a second. You're going to start learning how to measure this. And knowing your distance is very important so that you don't do things like miss a dive kick like this and get punished. So there you go. Okay. Panic button, very dangerous, but very fortunate that the opponent didn't punish it. Okay, he went for the shoulder and he jumped forward. That's a scramble situation, happens all the time. You're now back into a neutral, so how do you take advantage of this? My guess would be that the opponent is scared and is going to block because they're like, oh crap, I whiffed my move, I better block. But he actually goes for a sweep. So the Karen player went for a panic button. Okay, so the Karen player went for a panic button. So that's good to know. That's good to learn that the Karen is capable of the panic button. So maybe in those situations, I'll try to make sure I block so I can punish it. The video that I just mentioned, Rizal, 5.1 is called You All Know How to Play Fighting Games. I believe that's what it's called. But there you go, sweep. Okay, again, same thing. Panic buttons. So crouching main kick and then sweep, and this time the Karen has the proper counter for it. So Sai, you really got to take that sweep out of your game. You really have to take that out of your muscle memory game. Okay, wake up throw, missed it. And again, the raw drill. We've seen that many times. The raw drill. And gonna get punished and gonna lose the game because of it. And see, that's kind of a situation. What in this situation here, when the raw drill gets blocked and you die, you lost a chunk of life because of that. That should be a trigger in your head that, you know what, I lost this huge chunk of life because he blocked my drill. Maybe the drill is not a good move to throw out like that, because if they get it blocked, I die. Like, that's something that you have to evaluate. That's something that you have to learn. So, there you go.